preference is really a starting point to really understand and comprehend our type. But the type becomes even more useful when we really understand and explore the combinations of our preferences and how they interact to create our personality. You'll also notice when you look at the type table that it's organized so that similar types are next to each other, and sections of the type table are organized in order to see qualities that are shared by groups or within the group of type. The INFP personality type has a really strong inner core of values, and those values and principles guide every interaction and decision that they make. Now, their order of hierarchy states that they have a dominant introverted feeling. This means that we're not going to really see this preference very often because it is introverted. However, it is important to remember that they primarily use this function. Now, this is where they're going to make their decisions. This is where they're going to base their values. This is where they're going to understand life, individuality, and even their growth. What we tend to see, however, is their extroverted intuition. And this is where we're going to be able to see the complexities of human personality. They are going to work in bursts of energy, capable of great concentration, and even be able to really give some wonderful output, especially when they're engaged in a project. They're going to enjoy reading, discussing, and even reflecting on possibilities for future changes. Now, they do have a tertiary function of sensing with a less preferred function of an extroverted thinking. This means that when they give less attention, however, to these non-preferred functions, they're really going to become easily discouraged. They're going to reject logical reasoning, and they're even going to become impractical. And under great stress, they're going to doubt their own competence as well as others, in addition to becoming very critical. Career choice and interests are based upon the combination preferences of perception and judgment. For the intuitive feeling, they like to focus on the possibilities, what they can imagine, and even their innovations. They handle them by looking at the potential that others have, as well as being very insightful, enthusiastic. They love to have interests that are going to understand and encourage other people, as they like to play a role within society and contribute to its members. Some great careers for an NF are psychology, human resources, teaching, research, literature, religious services, healthcare, and even a career within art or music. Energy plus that external orientation, which is extroverted or introverted, plus your judging or perceiving, is how people are going to respond to any kind of change. So that introverted perceiver is an adaptable introvert. So this means that when changes are proposed, they're going to be very curious. They're going to seek information. Remember, they're adaptable. They like flexibility. They're going to then take the information, use their judgment, which is going to be based on values and logical principles, and then they're going to determine whether or not that information appears to be adaptable. And they're only going to move ahead on their own time because remember, they are a flexible, spontaneous type of personality. The preference combinations of judgment and external orientation within a personality type indicate our leadership styles, our management styles, and even our follower styles. The FP would be considered a supportive coach. This is a combination of feeling and perceiving. They tend to be warm and flexible, even encouraging leaders. They support individual work styles, and they like to involve others in the decision making. They prefer very collegial relationships. They like to share their rewards, and they need a consensus in decisions. They will be an energetic follower if they are treated with respect. The preferences of energy and perception, which is our extroversion and our introversion, plus our sensing or our intuition, determines how we use information within our personality. An IN, an introverted intuition, would be called a thoughtful innovator. Their knowledge is important to them for its very own sake. The temperament for an idealist, which is an NF, an intuitive feeling. Now, when we look at that kind of temperament, we want to see that this temperament is an idealist. They search for a unique identity and meaning, and they value empathetic and meaningful relationships. They're generally very enthusiastic, and they want to make the world a better place for everyone. They trust their intuition and imagination, and they think in terms of integration and similarities. They focus on developing the potential in others and finding a purpose in life, as well as bridging differences. They need to be authentic within life. Remember that the purpose of learning about our MBTI type and those dynamics is really to help us in understanding ourselves and to better build and to aid in developing our relationships with others. And this is accomplished when we look at the combinations of our preferences, the dynamics within our personality type, as well as the development and the growth that is available to our psychological type.